Hi, and welcome to another edition of FitLit TV, the show where we combine fitness and literature. I am your host, David Norick, author of the book, The Adventures of Exo and Psi. And today we have a very special guest all the way from Leicester, England. And I hope I'm saying that right. He will correct me if I'm wrong. So I do apologize. But please welcome Logan Fairbrother.
Hello.
Logan, hey man, what's up?
Hey, I'm good, David. How are you?
Doing very well. Everything okay over there in Leicester, England? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying it correct. Everything's good.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm always afraid that I'm going to say something wrong in Leicester,
Nah, don't worry
England.
about it. Everything's good.
So, what time is it over there in Leicester, England?
It is 8:53.
PM?
Yes.
Awesome. Wow, it is 2:53 PM here where I'm at in Texas.
Not too bad, not too bad.
No. And so just to give people a little bit of background, I met Logan. I was actually blessed to be his first guest on his podcast called the Achievers Podcast, which he does with Jack Watkinson. Logan, thank you for that. And
No worries.
actually, before that, we have something in common that I guess it's not a great thing, but we both have diabetes in common. I have
Yeah.
type 2 diabetes. You have type 1. But before we get into that, so tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing right now, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so my name's Logan Fairbrother. I'm currently creating a couple films. I'd say the main one I'm doing right now, which is This Was Home, which is a film about a young boy who is trying to create a bond with his brother, but his brother's trying to pushing him away mentally. So, and then unfortunately, the younger brother called Ethan passes away later in the film, and then the older brother realizes that he's taken him for granted. I hope I said that right and that's not too confusing. So yeah, I wrote that after the passing of my grandma, Margaret Skinner, who is an amazing woman. Well, an amazing woman. Yeah, she cared so much for her community. She'd do lots for charity. So yeah, that's where that inspiration from that, and obviously try not to take family for granted.
Wow, sounds pretty cool. And what stage in making that film are you at right now?
Yeah, so we've just finished fully casting for the film. We finished film scouting. So I'd say we're pretty close to starting filming, to be fair. We're just getting some final bits sorted, the legal stuff that no one really wants to do. But yeah, we're just getting financing and all that sorted, and then yeah, we're ready to film and hopefully get it out before September. So yeah.
Awesome. That's something great to look forward to, hopefully.
Exactly.
And I'm assuming, you've had to go through some stuff, with COVID and everything. I don't know how difficult
Yeah,
it is
definitely.
to film a movie right
Definitely.
now, but I'm pretty sure it's a little difficult.
Yeah, it
Hey,
definitely is.
but just like the name of your podcast, you are an achiever, and so I know you're going to get it done, and I can't wait for you to just have that movie out and we can all see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, and so like I mentioned before, you and I have something in common. Unfortunately, it's
Yeah.
diabetes, and I have type 2. You have type 1. So my first question to you, Logan, is when were you diagnosed with diabetes, and did you have any symptoms that maybe alerted you or your family to go get yourself checked out?
Yeah, so diagnosed 1st of May I think it's 2019. Yes, 2019. Symptoms, I did actually have symptoms, which I guess in a way is good to know that I have it, and to go get it treated before it gets worse. So yeah, my symptoms were I was like really weak. I was in a football team at that time, so yeah, I just couldn't play games properly. I was just like exhausted. I constantly needed to drink, but I was also dehydrated, so it was a bit a weird mix. But yeah, yeah. So went in hospital, obviously May 1st, and the amount of support that you get from all the doctors, like I've seen about 15 doctors within 2 hours. It was like insane how
Wow.
yeah, it was really good how much support that they give you, reassuring you, because obviously knowing that being told you've got a chronic illness is like it's scary, you know. Yeah, it scared the life out of me. I didn't know what was going to happen. I obviously didn't know what it was. Knew nothing about pancreas.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was just all came at once, and it was very scary.
Is diabetes something that's common in your family, or are you the first in your family to be
Um,
diagnosed?
yeah. So my great granddad had type 1.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and I share a lot of his genes. Apparently, obviously he's passed away now, but they said I was a lot like him, so that's where they thought I got it from. And to be fair, more than likely did get it from him. Um, so yeah, that's the only I know of is the only relative that had type 1. So yeah,
Hmm.
not many people, but obviously, apparently diabetes skips a generation or something, or skips two. I can't actually remember, but yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't know that. It unfortunately it didn't skip me either. So, oh well. And so going on to my next question for you, Logan, is how has diabetes affected your life? Um,
yeah. That's a big question. So, diabetes has affected my life like a lot. I wouldn't say it has taken over my life, but that's just because I've not let it take over my life. Um, so yeah, so I think the first year was obviously it was like I felt like I was telling myself I couldn't do stuff because of diabetes, which was affecting pretty much everything, like my mental health and everything like that. Um, yeah, so I guess I was just trying to have a good time all the time, and it was it was just hard to like reassure myself to be okay to go outside and go on walks on my own and just take care of my diabetes when no one's around me. Um, so yeah, I'd say it's definitely affected my life. I wouldn't say too much though, because obviously um, I haven't really let it, if that makes sense.
yeah, I was
So
about to
yeah,
touch on that because you said it's affected my life, but I haven't let it. And I think a lot of times when we get diagnosed or people get diagnosed with different illnesses, they lose the battle mentally, and once they lose it
yeah,
mentally, it all goes downhill. But like you saying
exactly.
that you don't let it, it's not going to affect you as bad as it could.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's that's great advice for anyone, and not just going through an illness, but just letting life, just not letting life get the best of you. That's great
Yeah,
advice. That I'm going to take that to heart. No, no,
definitely.
seriously. And I know with diabetes, I've learned there are certain foods you should really stay away from, and then there's also some foods that are good for you.
Yeah.
Aside from Dr. Slush, what are what are some foods that you should stay or any diabetic should stay away from? And then what are some foods that are good to eat as a diabetic?
Yeah. So I guess with type 1, there's nothing really you should like completely avoid, because obviously if you have the right bolus, etc. But I'd say obviously it's they are some foods that are like good to stay away from, just to keep it in good management. So I haven't had too many bad encounters, but obviously I had the what they called Tic Tacs, and they made my bloods go so high. So I'd
Really?
say, yeah, honestly, it was really bad. It was like, and the thing is, it like stayed up for like ages, and I couldn't get it down.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so sweets not good. Obviously, if you have the right, I think if you have too much, I think that's the problem.
Hmm.
Um, what else? There's obviously slow releasing carbs, which obviously you can eat, obviously, but it will like they'll stay in your body longer, so your bloods will be like a bit like this. They'll be going up and down and up and down.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I haven't had to stay away from much food. One food I should probably stay away from is Dr. Slush.
Dr. Slush.
The thing is with that though, sometimes I go low, so it's a bit strange. Sometimes I'll go really high and then sometimes go low, so can't find a balance with it. So probably should stay away from it and have it as a treat, like as a one-off.
Wow. And just from knowing you and talking to you a little bit, man, that's something if I ever go to Leicester, England, I want to try Dr. Slush. I really do. I know it won't be good for me, but I want to try it because you made it look so
Yeah,
good.
it is. It's very nice.
You mentioned also earlier that you play football, but by football you mean European football, which for us in the
Soccer.
United States that's soccer. How important? Because that number one, that's really cool that you haven't let diabetes take that
Yeah.
away from you. How important is exercise for you and for anybody who has diabetes?
Yeah, I'd say it's very important. Yeah, like for anyone really, but especially with type 1. I'd say it's exercise, it really helps as a good management. Yeah, honestly, even if I'm high and I'm just like, my mum will tell me to run up and down the stairs, and it will just it will take me down. So it's insane how good exercise is. And obviously this book right here is great for that. So yeah, I'd also say exercise is a good distraction from diabetes. Takes my mind like just out of having to inject and do all that. Obviously I'm on pump now, but doing all that stuff, yeah, it's a good distraction. It's nice to get outdoors and have a bit of fun. Yeah, I'd say it's a very important thing with diabetes and anything really.
And is football or soccer the only or the main sport that you play, or do you play other sports as
Yeah,
well?
that's the main sport. Yeah, I go on like walks. Obviously, I try to do that every day. Um, Sometimes I slack with that, I must admit, especially in lockdown. Yeah, so I'd say that's the main stuff. Obviously, there's PE in school, but yeah, it's football, soccer. That's the main
That's
stuff.
cool. And you said something while you were explaining this. You said you used to inject yourself, but now you use a pump. For me as a diabetic, I know exactly what you're talking about. For
Yeah.
anybody not a diabetic, what exactly does that mean?
Okay, so a pump is so when you inject, obviously you're having to inject, which you know what that means. This is an
Mhm.
insulin pump. Is that in? Okay,
There
there
you
we go.
go.
That's an insulin pump. It's basically what they call it is an artificial pancreas. So it instead of having to inject, this is what's the right word to say? It's like sitting on my stomach basically,
Hmm.
and it pumps insulin in. So I don't. So all I'd have to do, say, I think I'm 9 right now, so I don't have to do much. But if I say I have, let's say, 23 carbs, so I just input the 23 carbs, and it will automatically put the insulin into my body, so I don't have to inject. So yeah, that's I've only recently got that actually last week actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
A- As opposed
go
to
on.
having to inject insulin in you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know about that. It's not very
Yeah, so
fun.
that's definitely helped. Yeah, no, I
Cool.
used to have like I think it was 53 injections per week. So now
Wow.
obviously there's literally one every 3 days, which is just to get it in, which doesn't really hurt. So it's
Mhm.
not that. Yeah, it's definitely helped, and it's like the way the diabetes management has advanced, and with all the technology we've now got, it's literally incredible.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm very appreciative of having that. So yeah, hopefully which it has so far, starts to improve my management.
Awesome. And Logan, I know that you know you are doing so much with your life aside from playing football, and you're making movies. Um, you have a podcast. You have all this stuff, and you haven't let something like diabetes get the best of you.
Yeah,
And I know there are people out there who um, maybe struggling through life, for whatever reason. So you that have conquered all this, you're still going at it, man, and you're so successful. What what's like the best life advice that you can give to others?
As I say quite a lot, keep achieving. Just don't stop. Don't let anything stop you. Even if you have diabetes, don't let that stop you. And I'd say the best thing to do is find something you love and keep doing it. Um, Even if people put you down, I've had a lot of people put me down in the past like 3 months, and I have not let them stop me. I've actually got like they've actually gave me fuel, if that makes sense, to carry
Hmm.
on and just prove them wrong. So I mean, diabetes it gets you down. Let me tell you that it wants. Sometimes I have bad days and it gets the best of me. It gets the worst of me, but yeah, just keep achieving, keep going in life. Don't let anything stop you. And I think if you keep going in life and you don't let anything stop you, like I just said, you will start to see success. And um, the thing is, I think a lot of people, especially my age, they have an idea, they sort of do it, and then they just give up straight away. How I work is I have an idea, I do it, I sort of do it, and then I decide if I actually like doing it or I don't like doing it, if that makes sense. And if I like doing it, I'm going to do it. So I kind of changed that middle to like, I'm just going to give up to, do I like doing this or do I not? And I think, yeah, I think that's just the best thing to do. Just keep achieving, keep going in life, and don't let anyone stop you. Because at the end of the day, only you know what you want to do and what you love doing. So yeah, and I think that's the thing with me. Obviously, if I tell someone my age and what I'm doing, they don't believe me. They just think you're like I'm making things a bit dramatic and I'm not actually doing that stuff. But then when I show them, they don't like really believe it because it's a lot of stuff. And even I think that sometimes I'm like I sit down and I'm like, wow, should I be doing this? And then I'm like, and then I just like, yeah, I just carry on and I just don't let age stop me either. That's a big thing. And I've said that quite a lot, just to carry on. I think that's the best thing to do in life.
No, that's awesome advice. Just keep achieving because so many
Yeah,
people, like you said, give up.
exactly.
But man, you're doing so many awesome things, and you're gonna you're already successful, and I've told you that before. But you're gonna be so successful in life, and we need
Appreciate
more
that.
people like you in this world that aren't gonna let different things stop them. We need people like you that are gonna achieve when people say no, you can't achieve. And man, that's a testament to you and that mentality, and it's awesome advice. And finally,
Definitely.
Logan, so where can people find you or follow you?
Yeah, for sure. So I have an Instagram, which is my main platform. I'm taking a break off that as that's just been quite exhausting. But I will be back soon. That's just Logan Fairbrother. I'm also working on this new platform, so to speak. It's like an award slash platform slash challenge thing to try and get people to do what they love most. I'm currently making that website, so that will be out within the next 2 days, actually. Still don't know what the domain for that is, so I'll
Hmm.
post that on my main Instagram. But yeah, most of my announcements are on Logan Fairbrother. So if you go over to there, everything's on there pretty much.
Nice. And hey, for those of you who are just meeting Logan Fairbrother, follow him. This guy is going places. He's going places. He's already going a lot of places now, but in the future, man, the sky is the limit. Just follow this guy because he's got some great advice and he's got awesome things in the future. Logan, thank you so much for coming on the show and thank you so much for everything you're doing. Man, I appreciate the time you've taken to come out here and thank you for blessing us with your time and your advice.
Thank you, David. It's been an honor to be a second guest on your podcast. It's been I like the idea of Fitlet TV, and when you told me you had a podcast, I was like, yes, David. So it's been nice to actually be the guest on a podcast because it's been normally the host, so it's been
The other way
nice.
around.
Yeah, but yeah, I would appreciate you letting me come on and just explain a bit about diabetes in my life. Really appreciate that. Um, But yeah, if just I want to say one last thing.
Sure.
If anyone's not got this book, please get it because it's just amazing. But yeah, obviously David's in my eyes very, very, very successful. He's an amazing guy. Yeah, obviously I've been trying to collab with David for quite a while now, actually. So
Yep.
it's been nice to go on each other's podcast, speak a bit about diabetes, share more awareness. So yeah, it's been nice. Thank you, David.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Logan, and thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you again. Thanks for watching FitLit TV. We'll see you guys.
See you in a bit.